Hello everybody, my name is Boodlyneck, and today we're going to be taking another look at Alex's mobs. This mod adds some of the most fleshed out and best designed mobs that I've ever seen added to Minecraft. Today we're going to go over 12 more of these amazing mobs, but first I want to show you guys something very cool. This may be the coolest thing that a sponsor could have possibly done for my channel. They made a Minecraft mod so that I can show you Opera GX, a moddable web browser from inside Minecraft during a mod spotlight video. It's like Modception. I want to thank Opera GX for sponsoring this video. They've decided to make a browser specifically for gamers. With GX Control, you can limit the amount of bandwidth, processor power, and the RAM that your browser's allowed to use. That means we can have all the tabs open that we want, and we don't have to worry that our browser is going to cause lag or FPS issues in our game. They also understand that browsers don't have to be boring. With GX mods, you can completely change the way your browser looks and feels with a single click. And they have a ton of very cool mods. One of my favorites is Blockified. As you can see, the mod instantly changed the theme of the browser, the wallpaper. It added some browsing sounds like when I open and close tabs, when I hover over items, and when I type on the keyboard. This mod even customized the Discord app on my sidebar to make sure that it matched everything else. While I do appreciate the novelty of a jack-o'-lantern head shader, I can't imagine keeping that on. So me personally, I'm going to turn this off and the background music. Luckily, they've made it very easy to turn all the features on and off individually. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the wallpaper is actually animated. Very cool, and if you like that, you can find a ton more in the Opera add-ons area. And they've also made it very easy to import all of your settings from your current browser, like your browsing history, bookmarks, and cookies, with a single click. And if you like Chrome extensions, every single Chrome extension is compatible with Opera GX. The fact that they made a Minecraft mod so I can show you guys Opera GX from inside of Minecraft says a lot to me. I think they understand what we want, and I think they're just trying to give it to us. Now that I can do this from inside the game, this means I never have to leave Minecraft again. I really believe these guys just want to make cool stuff that works really well. Use my link below to download Opera GX today. Alright, let's start going over some of these very cool creatures. Starting off in the plains and snowy plains, we can find Bison. Technically, these are neutral mobs, but you might want to observe these hairy beasts from a distance because they are quick to anger and can easily fling any player that gets too near, launching them to a more comfortable distance. If you're willing to take that risk though, they can be sheared to gather bison fur, which can be used to craft brown wool and bison fur blocks. Bison fur blocks can be crafted into a new type of carpet, and probably most interestingly, they can be added to any boots to make them resist powdered snow better, similar to how leather boots work. And if you do decide to take one of these big guys down, you can get yourself a hefty portion of beef, making these a pretty valuable animal all in all. If you decide you want to make a farm, you can breed these guys using wheat. Moving from the plains into the forest, we can find blue jays and skunks. Skunks are very skittish animals that will run away from any large predators they encounter. If chased for long enough though, a skunk will defend itself by releasing a noxious cloud to its rear, causing nausea to any unfortunate victims within the back blast area. This spray isn't all bad though. It can leave behind a residue that you can gather using a glass bottle. This stink in a bottle can then be used to craft a couple very useful items. Mosquito repellent stew, which gives 20 minutes of a mosquito repellent effect. And if you haven't seen the terrifying mosquitoes that this mod adds to the nether, I went over those in a previous video. I'll leave a link to that video in the description and at the end of this video. But trust me, you don't want these mosquitoes anywhere near you. Stink in a bottle can also be used to craft the Stink Ray. This is pretty much a troll gun that can be used to troll innocent bystanders. If you shoot a creature with the Stink Ray, all nearby neutral and hostile mobs will blame the targeted creature for the horrible smell and begin targeting it. And all nearby passive mobs will just run away from the stinky individual. Each bottle of stink provides enough ammunition for 4 shots from the Stink Ray. And the last cool feature of the skunk is that if it's inflicted with a potion effect while spraying, it'll create a lingering cloud of that effect nearby. If you decide you want to make a skunk farm, I feel bad for your neighbors, but you can breed these guys using sweet berries. Moving to the skies to get a little fresh air, let's take a look at blue jays. These small relatives of the crow have a deep affection for glowberries and will follow anyone for a short while that feeds them to them. If you also feed some glowberries to a raccoon during this time, the two animals will become bonded. And while bonded, the blue jay will perch on top of the raccoon's back and will join the raccoon, in combat if it starts any fights. If you feed the blue jay glowberries again, it'll break the bond and split up this ragtag duo. And last but definitely not least, blue jays have one more cool feature that I think is very cool. If you feed them any seeds, they'll sing a short song that highlights all nearby mobs, helping you find any hidden caves or structures. You can breed blue jays using maggots or any insect larvae. Banana slugs are small mollusks that can only be found in old-growth, tall forests. You can find them sticking to the sides of blocks or slowly making their way through the undergrowth in search of their food of choice, which is mushroom. Occasionally, these little guys will drop some of their slime, which can be collected and crafted into a banana slug slime block. These can be very useful for clearing large bodies of water. When placed in water, all the surrounding water blocks will be turned into crystallized mucus blocks. You can gather these crystallized mucus blocks with Silk Touch and they make a nice looking glass type block. Or you can simply pick the slime block back up and all the crystallized mucus blocks will start to deteriorate on their own, making this such an easy way to get rid of water. If you come across these, you're definitely going to want to farm them, and you can breed these guys using brown mushrooms. Sugar gliders are tiny marsupials that can be found gliding among the treetops in birch forests. They can be tamed by feeding them sweet berries, and once tamed, you can place them on your head to get a slow fall effect. Tamed sugar gliders will also occasionally forage through leaf blocks, finding random treasures for their owner. This is usually going to be worthless junk like saplings and sticks, but sometimes they can find more interesting and valuable items like arrows, hair of bear, and moose antlers. And you can breed sugar gliders using honeycomb. Moving from birch forest to dark forest, we can find potoos. These small lazy birds try their best to never move. Once it settles in, it's only likely to move to gobble up any small insects that fly nearby. An interesting feature of the potoo is that their pupils will scale with the darkness of their surroundings, and if it gets dark enough to spawn monsters, they begin to shriek. You can handle these stationary birds using a falconer's glove, and they can be bred using maggots. Tasmanian devils can be found in temperate forest biomes. These small black and white marsupials like to hang out in groups and will happily chase down any rabbits or chickens they see for a tasty meal. These little fellas are mean and cannot be tamed. Their favorite food is rotten flesh, and if fed some, they'll unleash a howl that can scare away all nearby mobs for a short time. And if you want, you can breed these using any type of meat. The next 4 mobs we're going to look at can all be found in jungles, starting with the leafcutter ant. These busy insects can be found tearing leaves from trees and bringing them back to their anthill, storing them in the underground leafcutter ant chambers, converting them into gongolidia, which is a saturation-rich fungus that ants love to eat. You can gather gongolidia by interacting with fungal-covered chamber blocks, but make sure you put down a shroom block nearby first, or else the colony is likely to get upset with you, stealing their hard-earned food. You can use this gongolidia to heal ants or to pacify nearby ants if they're upset with you. Each ant colony can house up to 20 ants, and most will contain a single queen that you can summon by stomping on top of the anthill. As long as the queen's present and there are fewer than 10 ants, there's a chance to create a new worker ant with every 5 leaves delivered. Or you can also create new ants by feeding the queen some of their beloved gongolidia. And on rare occasions, breaking a chamber block will drop a pupa that you can then use to start a new ant colony anywhere you want. Unfortunately for leafcutter ants, anteaters can also be found in jungles. These neutral mammals aren't aggressive and will only attack in retaliation, But watch out because they have some nasty claws that can do some serious damage. Anteaters can often be found tearing into anthills with their powerful claws, scooping up ants with their long tongue, and uncovering several useful items along the way. You can breed anteaters using Leafcutter Ant pupae, and you'll have a hard time finding anything more adorable than a baby anteater riding on their parent's back. Alright, if we move our attention upward from the jungle floor a little bit, we can find the toucan. This colorful bird loves fruit, and if fed fruit that grows on trees, there's a chance the toucan will plant a sapling of that tree type somewhere nearby. Apples result in oak trees and bananas result in jungle trees. If you feed it a golden apple, the toucan will temporarily transform into a golden toucan and plant saplings at a faster rate. And if you happen to have a spare enchanted golden apple laying around, feeding this to it will result in a toucan that will permanently plant saplings without the need to ever feed it fruit again. The last jungle denizen we're going to take a look at today are tigers. These big cats can be found in bamboo jungles and will happily attack any outsiders that approach, crushing and slashing its prey with their large claws. And if a tiger does decide to let its presence be known, its prey will become petrified with fear. If you're able to feed a tiger some fresh meat, you'll gain the tiger's blessing effect that allows you to approach tigers without being mauled, and tigers will come to your aid if you find yourself in battle. Despite tigers' carnivorous diets, they can be bred with acacia blossoms. The last mob I'm going to cover in this video is the bald eagle. These large raptors can be found in wooded mountain biomes and can often be spotted scooping salmon from nearby lakes or snatching rabbits that have chose the wrong place to forage. You can lure and tame bald eagles using fish oil, and once tamed, these can be some of the coolest pets in the game. Along with the normal commands that other pets have, like stay, follow, and wander, bald eagles can be used for falconry. While holding a falconer's glove in your main or offhand, you can pick up and deploy an eagle at your will. If you launch it at a mob, the eagle will fly to and attack the mob, and as long as it survives, it'll return to your hand. But wait, it gets better. If you place a falconry hood on an eagle, you can completely control the eagle from its perspective as if it were a living drone. And as you can imagine, this can be very useful and a ton of fun. You are limited to a 300 block diameter though. If you fly the eagle further than 150 blocks in any direction, you'll lose control and it'll just fly back to you. Or you can simply sneak to stop flying anytime you want. Eagles do take damage during battle and while hunting, so make sure you keep yours healed using fish, and you can breed them using rotten flesh, and this may be the coolest thing you can possibly get from rotten flesh. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go over all the Easter eggs that I know for the mobs that I've shown in this video. If you name a raccoon Rigby, his skin will change to Rigby from regular show. If you name a toucan Sam or Toucan Sam, his skin will change to the Fruit Loops mascot. And if you name an anteater Peter or Peter the Anteater, his skin will change to the University of California Irvine's school mascot. And I think that wraps up this video. I do plan on making more videos covering all the rest of the mobs that are in Alex's Mobs. They've added a ton of mobs since I did my last video. I'm going to go over them all, but I don't want to make the videos too long, so I'm just going to see how many I can fit into about 10 or 15 minutes in each video. And I want to thank Opera GX again for sponsoring this video. I really do appreciate it. They're doing some very cool things there. I feel like they're looking at what people want and just trying to give it to them, which just makes sense. I hope you guys at least download it and give it a try. If you don't like it, go back to whatever you used to use, but trust me, it's worth a try. I also want to give a very big thank you to my Patreon supporters. Their names are up on the screen right now. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. And I want to thank all of you for watching and sticking around to the very end. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Keep playing, keep having fun. We'll see you guys next time.